What is the scariest post you've stumbled upon on Reddit? Not sure of the user or if it was true, but there was a guy that stated he did not have an addictive personality and decided to try heroin one time just to see how it felt. Months later, he posted how he completely derailed his life from getting addicted. Spontaneous H or something of that nature, I think, was his tag. It was a wild journey to read through. I first heard about the Pariah diving incident on Reddit. If you think Nutty Putty was bad, this might top it. When you open the comments on that post, the first few comments in the thread are a comprehensive timeline of the events. The actual footage from one of the divers involved is so disorienting and horrifying that even that, the sole primary account of the event, leaves more questions than answers. Here's a YouTube video essay that I found after realizing that just the post thread and the captured footage above wasn't enough for me to comprehend what actually happened. It took a couple of similar video essays for me to stop being in denial. The series of posts of Jason in hell on r/relationship_advice about divorcing his cheating wife. The wife tried to use their 2 children to force him to stay and finally stabbed the kids to death. A 3-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy. It started with a post asking what to do with his marriage after he caught his wife cheating with his neighbor. She wasn't really apologetic, but wanted him to stay and made it clear that she was going to manipulate their kids and made life hell for them if he left. He decided to put up with it, but after a year, he just couldn't continue with this personal hell. So, after hearing the sub-advice, he decided to go forward with divorce and try to keep custody of the children. There is no post about the murders, but another user reported the news article about it. After a few months, OP posted an update detailing his grief, his struggle to stay alive, and ultimately how he is recovering from the loss and guilt day after day. The cherry on top of this shit Sunday is how her family sees Jason as the one in the wrong, and were actively preventing him from visiting the kids' graves. I haven't seen it yet, so I will say the Parasite Man. I can't provide sources because I think the original post was banned, but you can find it really easy by searching the Parasitic Man. It was basically some sub of Reddit confessions or something like that. There was a guy that liked to infect himself with parasites, like a whole freaking bunch of them. But the most disturbing part is that, although know that can lend to health issues, he liked to infest other people. His family, random one-night partners, even go to public spaces to infest more people. The guy know that it was wrong and was still doing it. Sorry for any mistake, English is not my first language. For this one, I don't know if scary or haunting is the best word, but I'll put it here anyway. About a year or so ago, I saw a picture post about, I may remember the details wrong, so bear with me, a famine, a time of intense and rampant hunger in India. The picture showed a man who was literally nothing but skin and bones. You could literally see his ribs through his skin, and the same was said for most of his bones, sitting down on some sort of chair or bench, maybe even just a rock, holding onto a sharpened stick while he watched over his family during the night. Come to find out, either from the post title or the comments, that he was staying up to defend himself and his family from cannibals, because people had started needing to resort to that, just to feed themselves during this time. Again, I don't know whether that's just scary or haunting. Both seem apt to me. It is one of those pictures that have been burned into my brain. I wouldn't wish that kind thing on anyone, and the thought that this can happen to anyone, theoretically, and that this probably still actively happens to people in the world is just disturbing. I've been here a long time. Some of the posts that have stuck with me include a guy that tried to kill himself by shooting himself in the head with a shotgun, but he survived and just blew his whole face off. There's a video where he's still alive and he's sitting in a car, moving around confused. The neighbor that got into an argument with his neighbors across the street, a couple, over snow on each other's properties. Dude goes inside and gets a gun and proceeds to shoot both of them. The woman goes down in the street and keeps talking shit as he executes her. All caught on camera. A video of a guy doing pull-ups on the side of a skyscraper, but his strength gives out and he falls to his death. Video of a bunch of people hanging out doing redneck shit in like mud pits, I think. Dude sets off a firework in his hand, blows his whole hand apart. He's too drunk to know how much trouble he's in, but some people try to get him medical attention. Video of a girl on fire begging to be killed because she's just not dying. Crowd of people all around her just watching her scream and cry on fire. Video of the big dude in the mall that gets stabbed right in the neck and almost instantly bleeds out and dies. I know y'all want links to the videos and posts, but honestly, I wish I hadn't seen some of these, so I'm not going looking for them again. I remember finding an interactive iceberg on horrible Reddit stories, many quite depressing and obviously horrifying. But one that disgusted me off the most was a Redditor who admitted to manipulating his wife into dating them by downloading her nudes off her phone, making a private alt account to blackmail her for more photographs, and comforted her to get the closer together. They mentioned how they'd do it all over again and held no regrets. What pissed me off were the comments who tried justifying it because it had a happy ending, and how the wife would probably be amused. It's been a while since I've seen the iceberg, though I could probably find the story. Edit. I've come to remember more horrifying stories on Reddit. The homeless Holocaust guy. The evil fucked op therapist. Op who was riding bikes with his cousin and accidentally routed towards the forest, leading to the cousin to slam against a thick wooden branch, leading to him being paralyzed and having to be taken care of for the rest of their life. The one that stuck with me the most was a comment on a, "What's the most disturbing thing you heard?" Or, "What's your dark family secret?" or whatever. I've never been able to find it again because I came across it while going through a rabbit hole of disturbing threads. Guy heard this story from his mom, who was a kid in rural Texas in the 50s. There was a kid in her family who was disabled, who suddenly got sick and died one day. At the funeral, people were talking about how it was sad, but ultimately for the best, because of what a burden he was on the family. In the middle of the funeral, they started hearing crying and banging coming from the coffin, so they cut the mass short and quickly carried the coffin outside and buried it. Reminds me of another story I read, also second or third hand from the storyteller's great-grandmother when they lived in Eastern Europe somewhere. As a girl, the great-grandmother was at a funeral reception at someone's home for a woman who had passed. It was the middle of winter and snowing heavily. During the reception, the dead woman shows up outside and is banging on the door to be let in. Everyone is terrified and thinks she is some kind of demon or ghost, and they turn off the lights and don't answer the door. The next day, they see the woman outside frozen to death. Turned out she wasn't dead yet and made her way out of her tomb. That's all for now, dear friends. Write in the comments what the creepiest post you've seen on Reddit is. And on that note, I'll end the video. Thank you all for watching. Good luck to everyone. Bye, everyone.